Hey, hey, everybody. Welcome to Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson. It's Sunday, June 30th, 2024. Happy 4th of July in advance. Hope that you have a wonderful holiday. We've got a lot to talk about. Now we are in the throes of the presidential season right here on the Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson show. I am Santita Jackson coming to you from the iHeart Radio Network. Go to your iHeart app and key in Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson, and you can get us. We're on WOL in DC, and we're on WVON later on today here in Chicago, and Patriot AM 1150. That's right. That's our home station out, a super station out in Southern California, and so many other stations sending you so much love today. Of course, let us talk about this debate. Everyone, Jeremy, is talking about it. You found the right song today. What's going on? Did you see the debate?
Good
What
morning,
you
Attorney
think?
Jones. Hey, good morning, Attorney
Oh, I
Jones.
can't hear you.
Hold
Huh.
on, for Cynthia to play is good.
It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. I'm gonna get some thoughts from him on the other side. But hey, everybody, please like and share the show. Like and share the show. I'm so glad to be with you. So glad to be with you. And of course, uh, what did you think about the debate? What did you think about it? It was, admittedly, by the president, it was not a strong performance. And many people are calling, and when I say many people, the establishment, the New York Times, local newspapers, big newspapers, uh, people who help shape opinion. Nick Kristof of the New York Times, Tom Friedman, and so many others who are calling for him to get off the ticket. Norman Solomon and Jeff Cohen, who are icons in the progressive movement, in progressive media in particular, co-founders of Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting, and so Roots Action. Uh, they were calling on on the president to not uh, run some time ago. And so, where are we? What does this say? What will we have a brokered convention? What does this mean? Um, and really, when you think about it, Jeremy, the whole process has not really been very democratic. I mean, you had a primary where it was prohibitive for independents or insurgents to get in the race. So you have some big independents who really go third party, which doesn't help the party. Um, so let's talk about that, and let's talk about the debate, because the debate really, these rules were to have favored President Biden. Didn't matter. Didn't matter. It's clear that he is struggling with his health. That is clear. Hey, Carol, and hey, Shirley from beautiful Philadelphia, and my dear sister, Carol from Southern California, and sending so many of you, sending you so much love. Please like and share the show. Like and share the show. I'm so glad to see you, morning stars. I'm back. Yes, I am, and I'll be taping tomorrow's show today. We will continue this conversation in the morning on the Santita Jackson Show on AM 950 Radio in Minneapolis, St. Paul, as we talk about this debate. What happened with the debate? And I want you to come to Chicago. So many people. Hey, if you thought the convention, the Democratic convention, was one and done, no, it's not. And in fact, we're wondering now, will it be a brokered convention? What would a brokered convention be like? We haven't had one on the Democratic side in decades. I think since 1952, if my reading of history is correct. So, what does that mean? That's more than 70 years. Um, should these delegates who were pledged to a candidate that so many people were lukewarm about, should they be able to come up with a candidate who will run in the fall? Upon what basis will they decide who the candidate should be? How's that going to work? If it comes to that. So I want you to call us at 866-594 hope, 866-594-4673, and let's talk about what uh, many people are saying was a disastrous performance by uh, the president. But then some people walked away not happy with President Trump's tone. But we're in this society, we tend to go on how people make us feel. And sometimes we feel more secure with someone who appears to be strong. Sadly, you know, I was told in church that right makes might. But in this society, might tends to make right, which is not right. So let's talk about that. What do you think about this, about his performance, President Biden's performance? Is it a disqualifier? Do you think that now he should be, uh, that he shouldn't, that he should leave the ticket? Some people are saying for the sake of the nation, he should do that. What do you think? What do you think? I want you to call us at 866-594-HOPE, 866-594-4673, and let's talk about it here on Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson. Our international convention, Rainbow Push, is August 13th through the 17th. And we want you to be there at Rainbow Push. Just come on. It's going to be great. And of course, the Democratic convention begins the day that our convention ends, but we're going to still be at Push, meeting, talking through the issues of the day, and really seeing, really monitoring what's going on, thank you, Jeremy, at that convention. And what's going to be happening in Milwaukee. Don't sleep on that either. That's the Republican convention in July. We need to pay attention to everything. Back with more of Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Your opinion counts. 1-866-594-HOPE.
Oh,
Sorry, I was
wow.
getting Daryl Jones up.
Hmm?
I was getting Daryl Jones up.
Oh, okay. And Dwight?
I didn't bring up Dwight yet.
Oh, okay. Well, let me say hello to Christina. Christina?
Hi, good morning,
Hey.
Tashida.
Hey, honey, you can stay as long as you wish, but what we're going to do is I want to start with your debate and want to get your thoughts, if you are inclined to share, about your thoughts about this debate, and just what you plan to highlight and showcase in Las Vegas. Okay. So let me do that.
Got it.
Okay, just one. Sorry, I'm trying to do a couple of things at once. Oh boy, here we go. I guess this is my red day.
Good morning, Mr. McKee.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. McKee.
How you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
Pretty fast.
All right, hold up for a second, please. You also want to say hi to Attorney Jones.
What you say, hon?
Say good morning to Attorney Jones.
Okay, Attorney Jones.
Good morning. Good morning, Cynthia.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good.
Thank you, and thank you for checking in on me.
Sure. That's what friends are for.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's been a tough couple of weeks, but I am back in the saddle, so that's a great thing. And of course, we have got Christina Tobin, from who you're going to be seeing in Las Vegas at the debate on the 12th. And we have got
Good morning, Christina.
and that's Attorney Daryl Jones from the Transformative Justice Coalition, their chair.
Hi, Daryl.
And
Very familiar with your work.
Dwight McKee, who is a brilliant social scientist, is one of the founders of Operation Push many, many years ago. And of course, he's with the National Action Network as well. He just continues to expand his advocacy. But he's also the senior advisor to Cornel West. This is the gentleman I was telling you about.
Oh, wow. So nice to meet you. What a pleasure.
Nice to be met by you.
And
Nice
she,
to
How you doing, Daryl? How you doing, Daryl?
Good. Doing well. How about yourself?
Good. I was a little worried about you. I thought you probably was on the bridge by now. Ready to kill.
no,
I'm one of the people on the opposite side of that.
Don't pay any attention to him, Christina. He has got a very dry sense of humor. Oh man, you gotta watch Dwight. You don't know where he's gonna come from. Huh? Oh my gosh.
Bring it on.
Oh well, that is what is happening. It will be brought on. This is what we got right now. So, hey, Jewel and Carol, you said the debate made you feel very sad. I felt sad too. But I also know that the process itself, for getting this nominee was not democratic. So when you talk about a subversion of democracy, we kind of saw that. And Democrats have not learned. They continue to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. You chase out Bernie Sanders, who generated the most excitement in 2020, and then you bring in someone that everybody's asking to leave the race. You all do remember that, right? Okay, everyone was asking him to please leave, and that we just now it's just I'm not going to say it's a mess, but it is a very interesting situation. So stand by, everybody.
Listening to Keep Hope
Wow.
Alive with Reverend Jesse
Well, Jewel, I
Jackson.
want you to call us and let us know why you feel we should vote for Joe.
That's
Santita?
So, yes.
I need you to speak more into the mic.
Oh, okay. So I'll bring it right here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson. I'm Santita Jackson. It's a joy to be with you today here on Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson. Of course, we're on iHeart Radio Network. Please go get that app and key in Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson so that you can hear us. Some stations are carrying us live. Some are carrying us with a delayed broadcast. And you can also catch us on YouTube right now on the Santita Jackson Show YouTube channel and on the Santita Jackson and Friends page and the Reverend Jesse Jackson Senior page. What did you make of the debate the other night? Call us at 866-594-HOPE, 866-594-4673. You could see that the president was struggling. And he said it was a cold, but I think we all know that it's a little bit more than that. We cannot forget that maybe more than, I think, at the end of the 80s, he had a brain aneurysm, he had a brain issue, and it almost killed him. Thankfully, he survived, but he was looking death in the eye at the end of the 80s. And so, but his health has been good. It's been solid. But people have noticed something that was not quite right. That's not been quite right over the past few years. So the question is, did we see it on full display on Thursday? Why is it now finally, even though some people have been calling for the president to vacate his spot and give it to someone else, much as LBJ did in 1968, now more and more people, the New York Times, the newspaper of record for the United States, Thomas Friedman, one of their leading opinion writers, Nick Kristof, again, a leading opinion writer for the New York Times, have said, look, it's time for you to quit, Joe. What do you think? And what would it be like for that to happen? How would that play out? A brokered convention? And what did you just think of the debate? Tell me about it. We have got Attorney Darrell Jones, chairman of the Transformative Justice Coalition. We have got Dwight McKee, social scientist. Of course, dean of the Ma'afa Redemption Project, senior advisor to Cornel West. And Christina Tobin. We cannot wait to be with you. Darrell and I are going to be there, and several others. We're all going to join you and thousands of people at this free and equal debate in Las Vegas on July 12th. And of course, we're sending our love to Congressman Massey, who lost his wife. He had agreed to be one of the moderators, but we understand that he lost his wife this week. Please communicate our condolences to him. What did you make of the debate? And how did the debate that we saw, how would it compare to what you plan to do, what the Free and Equal Debate Foundation is putting forth on July 12th? Christina Tobin.
Thank you so much. And we'll be opening up the debate with you. I'm so grateful, singing the national anthem July 12th, and it'll be great to finally meet you in person.
Yes.
And, it's been beautiful evolving friendship with you. And our debate, it uses the cumulative format. The big difference is we're already going to have more than two candidates. I think that was what was clearly lacking at the debate between Biden and Trump were not talking about it, but that other candidates like Dr. Cornel West and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Dr. Jill Stein of the Green Party and Chase Oliver of the Libertarian and more were excluded from the CNN presidential debate. I think we all know why. Our debates I will not allow the candidates to personally attack one another. We are building a new paradigm of love and justice and healing energy and compassion. And I urge the candidates to, of course, debate on ideas. When we bring about when we have conversations, that's how we bring about solutions. So that's how our debate's different. 2-minute opening, 2-minute closing. Candidates have 2 minutes to answer questions. They take turns. And they'll have time for rebuttals, expansions on questions. And we're going to have hard-hitting questions. That's another thing. I think that the CNN debate, we're going to address the questions that, whether it's on war and civil rights and education and even in the world of AI and or APAC. And yes, my heart goes out to Thomas Massey, our co-moderator, which it's just one of those situations where you sit and wait. Having lost his high school sweetheart of 35 years on Thursday, the day of the debate, is devastating. And so, yes, my heart goes out to him, his family, his team during this time, and we'll wait and see. And I support whatever Mr. Massey decides. He may seek a distraction. He may need to be with his family. Family health always comes first, and we'll adjust. We have a third co-moderator. We'll know today, tomorrow, who I think very likely will join myself and possibly Mr. Massey or not, given the devastating circumstances around him. And so that's where we're at right now. And we have a big week ahead and 2 weeks until the debate at Freedom Fest in Las Vegas. So Free and Equal Elections, myself, we're not new to hosting debates. In fact, Free and Equal has been hosting debates since 2008. Pulitzer Prize winning journalist Chris Hedges was our moderator. In 2012, Larry King and I co-moderated. That was beautiful. He donated his time to fly in. We reached modestly tens of millions. And in 2016, Ed Asner of the Mary Tyler Moore Show joined me as a co-moderator. So 2020, we had 3 live debates during a lockdown year. And this year, this is already our 3rd debate, Santita, that will take place. Our one in February reached millions. And the level of production, in fact, the same producer that's been producing our debate series produced Robert F. Kennedy's virtual I guess you could say, real debate that reached over 10 million on Twitter X. It's the same producer for our series. And he also produced the Clinton inauguration, which you sang so beautifully, the national anthem in the 90s. So our debate will be about solutions, and our debate series, this is our 3rd, we'll have probably 5 this year. Our 4th one is already slated for September 5th. We're building a much bigger message and idea and platform here to really give all voters, including independents, which there are more independent voters according to the Gallup poll than there are Democrats and Republicans alike. So I, as the founder and chair, see beyond the party lines. I think one or two or a couple things that's missing at our debate is, well, we have Dr. Jill Stein confirmed, Chase Oliver of the Libertarian Party, and Mr. Randall Terry of the Constitution Party. We're missing Dr. Cornel West. I have been texting with him regularly. According to Santita, he's checking his schedule. I'm interested, but I have yet to hear a response. And I think the people on social media come next week are going to be they're already questioning why Mr. Cornel West is not at this debate. And I really hope that he can make it. And of course, Mr. Kennedy as well. But Cornel he's so inspiring how he speaks, and it would be a great loss not to have him at this truly open debate to expand his platform and ideas.
Well, I think also right now people are looking for answers because Christina, Thursday night, quite frankly, was stunning, and whether you voted for a president or a candidate or not, someone who represents you, you do have the need for them to look strong. It's part of who we are. And it's like if you see your pastor looking weak, it feels diminishing. It's a lot. And so, what were your impressions? What was your takeaway from Thursday?
Feel sorry one bit for Joe Biden. He knows what he's doing. He's choosing to be there. He's been groomed his entire life for this role. Arguably Obama as well. When I did ballot access, I've done it for 25 years within the deep, flawed system of the Chicago Board of Elections. I saw every candidate knocked off the ballot when this unknown individual named Barack Obama was running, and I said it out loud. They're going to run this guy for president one day. It comes as no surprise that Clinton, Obama, they're all saying, oh, Biden had a bad night at the debate. And the day after, Biden has said, oh, I've, had a bad night. We all do. I tell the truth. This is what we're dealing with in politics. And so I don't think Biden has he is going to continue to push forward as long as he's breathing and here on earth. And that's just how politicians are groomed. So the debate for me, to focus on the bigger picture, the wrongful exclusion of other candidates like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Dr. Cornel West, Jill Stein, Chase Oliver, and even Randall Terry, they're all on the ballot in enough states to be viably electable or receive 2% in a national poll. And that's our criteria, free and equal elections, which has invited 7 candidates. And there are so many more candidates that want to be in this debate that are messaging me. And I wish I could open up to everybody. So CNN, I thought when they opened up the debate, people aren't talking about it, but the advertisements and commercials or promos they ran before the debate were all attacking Donald Trump. I mean, I thought very clearly, and the people around me. So I think that we need to have more ideas, more voices, more choices. That's our slogan at Free and Equal Elections. And also have candidates that are not beholden to the powers that be. When you follow the money, unfortunately, Biden is beholden to the powers that be. APAC to be one of many examples, the military-industrial complex, the pharmaceutical. Like, look at how their campaigns are funded. And these are not the kind of people that are going to represent our country. The debates tend to focus on divisive issues. It was no surprise abortion came up. Guns comes up, transgender comes up. If not this debate, the ABC debate. Here at Free and Equal Elections, we focus on the bigger issues where we can all unite and really address that, Ukraine and Russia and, of course, Gaza and Israel and the money around these governments that are not representing the people as a majority on the ground in Israel and Gaza and Ukraine and Russia and America and everywhere around the world. It's just a few people in power. And fortunately, history's on our side, and there's more of us than there are of them.
Dwight McKee, I've got about 4 minutes before we go to break. Your impressions. What were we looking at? Well, you kind of foresaw this like 4 years ago.
Well, let me congratulate you for opening up this debate coming up in Las Vegas. You actually should have opened up the debate that they had the other night with Biden and Trump by singing Precious Lord.
You are so wrong. No, do not change. Do not do the switch up, change up on me, Christina. Thank you. Continue. No. You want me to be in a choir robe, don't you? Full of mahalia. Oh my gosh! You know what? Wait a minute. Kill the mic. I don't want to. We'll talk to Daryl. We're not going to talk to him. No.
It's the Democrats. They may as well be the campaign manager for them. Could be a Republican strategist. They're running the worst strategy I've ever seen a campaign be run. It's really the most self-destructive strategy I've seen. So when you don't have a primary, you don't open the party up to other ideas. You lock all your progressive candidates out of the campaign. You lock in the most mediocre candidates.
Brother Chris.
I mean, you really kind of reap what you sow.
Where you calling from, Chris?
And
Huh?
whereas
Where
they
you
had
calling
been
from?
protecting him from himself
Oak Park.
for so
Who's
long,
Chris?
and I
Oak
had
Park.
no idea whose idea it was to have a debate. But it was the worst idea that you could possibly imagine, given his present condition. Trump was mediocre at best, but in comparison to Biden, he looked much more coherent, even than he usually does. It was not just a mess that day; it's a mess in making, because it's going to change the whole temper of the convention. You're not going to have a divided convention. You have a situation now where people are going to be looking for another candidate. You have Biden, who is not going to release his delegates. You have Biden's wife, who is as obsessed with being the first lady as he is being the president. And you have the old guard, Clinton, and the Clintons and Obamas, who's going to try to protect Biden. And it's all going to be a recipe for disaster, even not having dealt with what's going on outside the convention, which is going to be a ruckus. And so what I think you may have seen the other day is the end of the road for Biden and the Democrats on this election. They've all but given it to the Republicans and the Trump, mostly because of their own egos and self-serviceness and inability to want to expand the party into broader areas.
I got you, Joe.
Basically, because they belong to the financial class, and because they are so locked into the money.
No, well, you know what? Let's talk about this. Call us at 866-594-HOPE, 866-594-4673. And let's talk about this. What did you make of the debate? What did you make of it? What did you make of it? And what would a brokered convention look like? Oh, Daryl, I can't wait to hear you talk about all of this. And all of us, we should flesh this out. But what about the debates? I mean, we're not hearing from everybody. And I have to tell you, Christina, the debate itself, when I knew things were going to go way, way, way down, when President Biden walked out and waved to an audience that was not there, right? It was just painful to watch. Back with more of Keep Hope Alive in just a few minutes. Hey, everybody, Keep Hope Alive. And the Rainbow Push International Conference will be the 13th through the 17th. You got to be there. Back in just a few minutes.
Well, there's no hiding place against the kingdom's throne. So people get ready. There's a train coming.
Your opinion.
You have two callers. You have Joel and Chris from Oak Park.
Now, Christina, do not get any ideas. I'm about to put Dwight on mute. Do not have me coming up there singing Precious Lord, take my hand. Oh, wait a minute, Dwight. Father, I stretch my hands to thee. No other help I know. If thou withdraw thy hand from me, oh, where will I go? Oh. Oh, you got me digging into my church bag. Goodness gracious. Oh, I mean, it was like, I was like, how did you all even let this man go out to you like this? There was, and the thing is, they're so careful, Christina. You know this. I mean, because and it was. I'm so glad, Dwight. Christina and I have this burgeoning friendship, this developing friendship, and it's been wonderful. because she was here when Barack Obama, then State Senator Obama, was running for the U.S. Senate, and Dwight has been here and been at the center of, of the civil rights movement for 60 years now. And we just systematically saw people get knocked out of that race, and I was so glad, Christina, to hear someone else say, I mean, kind of to observe what we saw. Dwight called it. Did you not, Dwight?
Sure did. And Christina, that's a terrific insight. We very few people I know had that insight, but Sanchita and I looked at this remarkable situation where person by person was getting taken out. And this guy was really elevated. And it was just the strangest phenomenon to see how this thing was playing itself out. He had, we knew that the jig was up when he had taken his trip to Africa. And they covered it every night like he was a head of state. And nobody even knew who he was. And it was like a major thing. Obama goes to Africa, to his homeland.
Hold on. Oh.
Yes,
So
yes, we need to address the flaws of the electoral system.
Hold on, everybody. You need to pay attention to Mixmaster Jeremy, who's giving us inspirational music this morning. You are a hot, steaming mess. But you can never go wrong with Aretha. And then find Peace Be Still by James Clean. Oh.
Ain't nothing going right. Close your eyes and meditate on him.
I can let that play forever. Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson. I'm Santita Jackson. It's a joy to be with you. Hope you'll join me on my show in the morning from 6 to 8 a.m. on AM 950 Radio, the voice of progressive Minnesota. But stay right here on the iHeartRadio network and key in Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson. You can find us on WVON this evening and WOL just a little later today. And right now, Patriot, the Patriot in Southern California, Patriot, 11:50 a.m. It's always a joy. They've been our home station for 20 years, and we thank you so much for continuing to stay with us, and so many other stations. Hey, everybody, the Rainbow Push International Conference will be talking about this and so many issues that the 13th through the 17th. Want to send a special shout out to the Poor People's Campaign of Illinois and the Poor People's Campaign. The anointed Reverend William Barber led thousands in a march on Washington yesterday at their national convention. And boy, oh boy, it was something wonderful. And we had a listening party, a viewing party for the convention at Rainbow Push yesterday. I want to dedicate the show today to, boy, we've had quite the moment, the Jackson family and the Rainbow Push family. Someone I've known all of my life, my uncle, Chris Hurst, made his transition yesterday while we were funeralizing John Mitchell. My uncle, my beloved uncle, made his transition. And now he has joined my Aunt Evelyn and my Grandma Tibby and my great-grandmother Tibby, my grandmama Helen, and my granddaddy Charlie Henry, and so many people up there in heaven sending you so much love, Uncle Chris. Love you, love you, love you. So let's get right to it, everybody. Let's talk about this debate. What are your thoughts before we get to the calls? I want to hear the chair of the Transformative Justice Coalition. Dwight, you said that you thought that you were going to have to go rescue him from the jumping off of a bridge. Was that it, Dwight?
Sure.
You were so wrong. You are so just, Daryl, pay no attention. Express yourself.
Hello.
My dear. What did you make of the debate? And everybody, on July 12th, I will, along with so many others, will be at this the free and equal debate where everybody's been invited, and so many people have have opted to be there. We do hope that Cornel West will be there. Indeed, Christina really, really wants him to be there because he represents a perspective that we really don't have. That's unique in American politics. We want Robert Kennedy there. You know, she invited President Trump and President Biden, former President Trump, excuse me, and President Biden. And because you want to hear from everybody. You want to hear from people. And Renee wants to know before we pivot to you, Daryl, will Claudia De La Cruz be at the debate? Has she been invited? Christina. And okay.
Free and equal elections. So I'm going to admit that. I wish we could open it up to every single person that's running, because ballot access in itself is one of many flaws in our electoral system. The fact that an independent like Dr. Cornell and Kennedy have to get 938,000 signatures. This is on petitions, you know, signed by individually registered voters. And in order to get on the ballot as an independent in all 50 states plus DC, it's only 25 or 50,000 in total for D's and R's. So that is just unconstitutional. And, you know, part of me thinks, should I open up the debate to one or two more candidates if Cornel West and Kennedy decline? They're still pending. So anything's fair game. I love Claudia. Peter Zonski's another one that wants to be in our debate. They're the next two that, if I open up the criteria furthermore to have 5, they're the next two that would be invited. And that's definitely in discussion internally. But I met Dr. Cornel West at the Libertarian Party of California convention, as well as Robert F. Kennedy. They sat on a metal table, one camera, and they had a debate with libertarian candidates. 3 of them, both of them did, but they won't attend this presidential debate. I'm flabbergasted.
Please
I
leave
don't
your
know
message
why.
for.
You know, I do know there's some tension with Dr. Jill Stein having been the campaign manager for Cornel West, and that's politics 101. Whatever there is there, you have to let that go. Cornel preaches on universal love and unity and community, and I loved meeting him at the Libertarian Party of California convention. He gave me his number. We took a photo together. He's interested, according to you, Santita, in looking at his schedule. And we got to put any differences we have aside, and we have got to be able to debate for the people. Because to hear his ideas, he deserves to be heard by tens of millions doing the hard work in the ballot access world. And I feel equally the same about Kennedy, who has made it very clear that he only wants to debate Biden or Trump. But then, you know, that mindset mentality makes him no different than how Trump and Biden are treating him. Is how he is now treating Cornell and Jill Stein and so on the others. So we've got to break through this mentality of divisiveness and unite for the greater good and for the greater good of humanity.
I agree. Let me see. Daryl, your thoughts about the debate? Well, I mean, you can respond to what you heard from Christina, but I also want you to weigh in on the debate before we pivot to the calls.
I want to give a huge shout out to Christina as well as Free and Equal for the debate that they're putting on. Because, you know, had there been other candidates on that stage, I think that we would have seen and had the opportunity to hear the diversity of ideas and the diversity of thought, the diversity of age, all of that that should be present for voters to be able to make a decision as to who they want to have elected as their president. So big shout out to Christina and her group for offering the alternative voices that are out there. So as for what we saw in this Thursday debate, we saw an 81-year-old man debating a 78-year-old man. I mean, that's really what we saw, and I think that, you know, we all knew that President Biden was 81 when he came into the position. So to be shocked now to see that there, you know, was some difficulty in the formulation of some thoughts and sentences in a pressure-filled moment on an international stage, I don't consider that to be that great of a shocker. What I think the greater shocker is, and I should tell you, Dwight, that I did have on my life jacket. I did have on the life jacket watching the debate unfold. But I tell you, you know, it took me back to 2012. And so, if you're one of the Democrats cheering for President Biden, it took us back to 2012. And I think sometimes we have to take a step back and remember that in 2012, then President Barack Obama was debating Mitt Romney and did a horrible job, a losing job. Folks were asking the same questions. I don't see how you can overcome this. I don't see how you can get out of this hole. It was such a poor debate performance that occurred. And then what was it that turned it around on the next debate? It was current president, then Vice President Joe Biden, who had a great performance. So, I get it with all the concern. I thought that the first 40 or so minutes of the debate for President Biden were not good by any measure, whether it was looking at the appearance, listening to how the candidates sound, or any of that. They weren't good. But as that debate went on, he did strengthen, and he did stand up to the moment that he was in as it went on. So I think that when we look at it as a whole, because everybody started jumping off the ship when it started, and the raspy voice and the couldn't quite hear the sentences that he was putting together. But I think that as it unfolded, he did strengthen as a candidate. The problem was people generally remember the first thing they hear, and they have tuned out after saying, they're both rambling. Kudos to the New York Times, because not only did they go after Biden's performance as being lackluster, but they also went after former President Trump for all the lies and everything else that he was telling. And since I'll end on this, I'm still trying to figure out what a black job is, because he's talking about these immigrants coming in and taking black jobs. I'm not certain what a black job is, but I tell you, all in all, I've got to say that it wasn't a great debate. The moderating wasn't great. I think anything about it was great. I think it needs to be more in the traditional type of setting. I think there should have been an audience that's there. All of those things that I think that Free and Equal are going to be having with Christina Tobin are all the things this state should have been thinking.
Call us at 866. Oh, Dwight McKee.
Yeah, the good thing Biden said now that you have to get up. The party left out though was you had to get up before the fight is over.
Oh.
You can't get up the next day. The next day, act as if you survived the fight. And
he has some great one-liners. I mean, saying that Trump has the morals of an alley cat, based on his track.
Yeah, but look, the fact is, I think they caught Trump in about 30 lies. They caught Biden in at least 9. Debates are performative. Let's get real. I mean, and people want to know if you look strong. That's what this was about. It was a wellness check. When people call into the show, when people see me, they want to know how Reverend's doing. That's what it is. It's what it is. And D-Ray, I just want to let you know, last couple of weeks, I've been really working on my health. I've had to do that, but I'm glad to be back. And I was going to share that with you all a little bit later, but here I am now, and I'm just grateful to do that. I'm grateful to have insurance. How about that? That's important. So I'll see you in the morning. We'll be taping this afternoon. But let me go to Chris. Chris, what's on your mind today? Good morning.
Keep up live. Hold on, please.
Condolences to the passing of I think it's Mr. Meacham.
Oh, well, Mitchell, our uncle Chris Hurst, we've had quite a couple of weeks. Reverend Sinclair, his chief of staff, John Mitchell. Yes.
Marathon, not a sprint. Some of his gaffes for an 81-year-old person, I think it was expected. I think there's decline every year we have, and we don't want to admit it. But I think if we put it to context and the lies that Trump told, and Trump can't get under his record that he was voted the worst president by Forbes in U.S. history. He can't escape that he's the first president to be a convicted felon. He can't escape the first president to be convicted of rape in a court of law. 91 felonies, four different jurisdictions, out on bond. It lost the most jobs as a first-term president, killed the stock market. One of the sectors of the society who lost more under Trump was black business, because how it's handling the COVID. Millions of people who died, and he lied about it. And that direct correlation killed the economy, and it's causing the inflation today. So his record, he can't run on that. We know what we got in from him. With Biden has had to correct what the damage Trump did, built a better economy, stabilize the job market somewhat. Still need some work. Prescription drug prices, tried to eliminate student loans for the the common folk, not the richest 1% who got the richest tax break in history, and also lowered the corporate tax. So he can't run on it. Also, with the insurrection, he tried to overthrow his own government. He can't run from that. And Trump lied to get off those topics. I think Biden will be stronger next debate, because he picked up steam during the debate, and also if he had a performance like the State of the Union, I think it'll quell some of the hysteria that's going around.
What do you think, panel? Dwight, Christina? Well, let's start with you, Dwight.
I think you should have been his point guy for the debate. You've given him more major points and more positions than his advisors did. Strangely enough, if he was as coherent as you are, Chris, he may have come out this on the plus side. I think that with all you said, which is true, legitimate, the problem is that Trump is still winning. It looks like he's winning in the polls and has a very good chance of winning this election. And so the issue is, to me, is he actually a candidate that can beat Trump? Biden? Or were there other candidates out there who could be more successful and more effective at fighting this fight? And so I think that the Democratic committee, the Democratic Party, made a major boo-boo by not opening up the process, so that we would have known going in what we were dealing with, and could have the option to make other choices. And so, in many levels, boy, you reap what you sow.
Chris, do you have a response?
Chris is
Well, he's gone. Okay. Well, Jewel, before we go, what's on your mind, sweetie? Thank you.
And I was happy that Joe told the truth. She told the truth, and that means a lot to me and my family nowadays, going forward, looking for the policies to be pushed for police reform, voting rights, student loans, to name a few. I can go on and on and on. And quite frankly, we have to get that agenda done. That's the agenda that got us here, and that has to be completed. And if we have to go out and vote, that's like almost the least of it. We have to make sure nobody thinks that they can just cast this one out. This ballot is going to be the best ballot. It's going to be a very serious ballot, and everybody has to get out. Anybody you know, anybody you thought, go get them and make sure that they are ready, registered to vote. And if they have any problems at the poll, they have to call 1-800-OUR-VOTE, because it's very crucial. This is the vote of our lives. They're trying to get away with all the rights, knocking them off the table after our ancestors marched, died, and got beaten to get it. Excuse me. That's all I want to say.
Well, you said a whole lot. Unfortunately, we didn't hear a lot of that during the debate. It seems that, because they're leading with the weak part. But I don't know if, I heard one of the captains of industry say that capitalism trumps democracy. And it seems that both of the major parties believe that too. They're fighting for that. because there's no earthly reason that the Democrats should have put forth a candidate who is struggling this way. And certainly, they should have just not had the debate on Thursday night. You can't put someone who is obviously struggling like that out there like that. It was painful to watch. Listen, hey, if he were my husband or if he were my dad, I would not let him do it. My mother would never let him do it. But now what we have are some real issues before us. We do have a convention. We have to get through the convention, everybody. Will it be a brokered convention? What would that look like? As has been pointed out, you have more and more uncommitted delegates. You already were going to have some contentiousness inside the hall and certainly outside the hall. What now? What now? Back with more of Keep Hope Alive in just a few minutes, but I want you to please go to rainbowpush.org. We need you at the convention, the 13th through the 17th. We will be leading into the Democratic convention. Of course, it'll be in the aftermath of in the wake of the Republican convention. It is time for us to organize and to talk about the great issues of the day. And we're going to have a lot of people there who you can really talk with. We need to come together, everybody. It'll be the People's Convention at Rainbow Push. And then we'll be welcoming everybody who's got some thoughts about this country, because a lot of people will be descending upon Chicago to march and to express their feelings. Back with more of Keep Hope Alive in just a few minutes.
Coming up, we'll have closing thoughts from Reverend Jesse Jackson right here on Keep Hope Alive.
Hey, Chris.
Well,
Your pet.
Carol Saskin has said we must face the fact that he is struggling. And, Daryl and Christina and Dwight, a lot of people, they keep saying that it's age. Look, Christina, Dwight, and Daryl, it's not his age. It's not his age. The most popular elected official in the United States is Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders had a heart attack while he was running for president. People still want him to run. It is very clear that Joe Biden is struggling with his health. And he has a history of brain issues. Why do we not want to say that, Dwight? It's not about his age. Are we ageist? Yes, of course. But come on, y'all. Really? Or do you think I'm missing the mark here? Christina, Dwight, Daryl, anybody? Am I alone?
No, you're not alone at all. A lot of times I think that we correlate age and health because we think that your age put up decline with your health as your age increases. So with Joe Biden, it's probably a combination of the two, right? So we're talking about the age aspect of it, it's not 71, because as I think Dwight said a little earlier, Trump is 78, but he certainly came across as appearing more healthy with regards to his appearance and his presentation. So, I think sometimes we just correlate health and age and just say,
I think they're trying to obscure his health issues. I really do. Because they're playing a game. They know what the deal is. I mean,
what we're seeing here is the old paradigm crumbling. I mean, the average age in Congress is over 70, 80 years of age, and the only truth that I can say as far as when it comes to Biden is one question we'll be asking at our presidential debate on July 12th is, should lobby groups who advocate for policies specifically benefiting foreign nations such as AIPAC be allowed to donate money to political campaigns? So, I mean, if AIPAC is funding campaigns such as Biden, they're not telling the truth. They're beholden to the powers that be. So, but what we're seeing here is the old paradigm crumbling. And, arguably, did Dr. Ron Paul win in the past? Did Bernie Sanders win in the past? we could even say Ross Perot, was he on his way to win the presidential election until they intimidated his family and threatened his life, and he had to pull out of the race. I think that all could have argued did Trump win the last election. The flaws of the electoral system are unfortunately rigged is right there. They favor to help make sure candidates like Biden, who are beholden to the money, their puppet, their strings, they're controlled. He does not have his own voice. He is controlled by big money, as well as most members of Congress. And Representative Thomas Massey has really, as you mentioned, Santita, highlighted that and really brought that issue, nationwide that needed to be that they all have babysitters, which is the case. So I'm so glad that he said that. Dr. Ron Paul has been very clear, being a former member of Congress, that all Democrats, Republicans, they're friends behind the scenes. It's a business, and we're not invited to the party, those that are not beholden to big money. So I think we're seeing a decline. Biden will stick it out as long as he can be here on Earth and alive through November. It may very well be slated for him to win, and then the system can continue to do what they want to do for the next 4 years. Nuclear wars on the. These are things that, when we unite as a country, and we replace most members of Congress in 2026, we can put an end to this needless chaos.
It doesn't have to be this way.
No,
Hold on, please.
it won't continue to be this way. It's not an option.
Come up at 5.
Questions or comments?
Stand by. We're coming up.
Jesse Jackson at KeepHopeAliveRadio.com.
Hey, everybody. Stay tuned for the second hour of Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson. I'm Santita Jackson. Please stay with us as we talk about the debate on Thursday night. Want to get your feedback? 866-594-HELP, 866-594-4673. What do you think about the debate? Everyone wants to know if former President Trump will stay on the ticket. Some people calling for him to be taken off the ticket, given his legal troubles. But what about, everyone's really talking about President Biden. Is he up to the job? Or do other issues trump that? No pun intended for you. I want you to call us at 866-594-HOPE, 866-594-4673. And as they, if you will, are calling for him to be taken off the ticket, how would a brokered convention work? How would all of this work? Call us at 866-594-HOPE. August 13th through the 17th, where we'll push convention. You need to be there. You need to be right here on Keep Hope Alive. Back in just a few minutes.
Thank you for listening to Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson. For more information on upcoming shows and guests, please visit our website at www.keephopealiveradio.com.
Chris called back
Oh, he did?
because you were asking for his rebuttal. You have Deanne.
Deanne?
You have
Okay.
Bobby from LA, Eloise, and now Muhammad Martinez.
Oh, boy. Okay, let me get to,
Let me find out what Muhammad, if it's his real name.
so we've got Deanne.
Keep Up Live.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Yes, I am Mohammed Martinez from East LA, and I would like to send a humble message to America of color.
All right, what's the message?
The message is, let's not stop pretending that what we have today, as of today, is white supremacy versus democracy, period. That's what we have. You know, when we go vote on November the 5th, it will be as simple. White supremacy versus democracy, period. There's no others.
Okay, hold on, Muhammad, okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
866-594-4673. And now, the Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson. Let us talk about this debate. Everyone wants to talk about it, and so do you. We've got the phone lines that are full, but we want you to continue to call because we will get to you as we get your impressions about the debate, as we get your thoughts about people asking the powers that be, and this is where, I mean, a lot of stuff is getting revealed, Jeremy Geiger. You're beginning to see, okay, who really runs the party? The oligarchs, the funders have the power in this private corporation because this is not a government corporation. The RNC and the DNC are private corporations, and their boards are uh, their national committees. And so the funders, who Biden had to go see immediately, they're the ones who will tell him whether he should go or stay. But shouldn't it be the people's decision, right? And did the
Supposed to.
people really have any options during the primary season? Were the people robbed? So we got a lot to talk about today. We want to get your thoughts. What would a brokered convention look like? What would that look like? And how would that work? Jeremy, did you see the debate?
I saw parts of it.
So you didn't want to watch the whole thing.
I couldn't.
Oh, why not?
It looked painful,
Yeah,
especially Biden and the way he was staring.
yeah.
It was like staring into
The
a
abyss.
blank, right?
Yeah.
So it was painful to watch. Then, of course, I have my own opinions about Trump and the lies.
Well, the thing is, it's almost as if that took a back seat to his performance. And that's painful in and of itself. Of course, we've got Dwight McKee, a brilliant social scientist, senior advisor to Cornell West. And we've got Christina Tobin. I'm going to be joining the Free and Equal Debate Foundation at their presidential debate on July 12th in Las Vegas. It's going to be something really, really special. And I'm very excited about that. Of course, they will be hosted by Freedom Fest. Of course, we are sending all of our love and prayers to Congressman Thomas Massey, who had agreed to be the moderator, co-moderator for this debate, but he shockingly lost his wife this week. Just not even in her mid 50s. She just died. Bless her heart. Bless their hearts. They were high school sweethearts. And so our love and prayers go out to them. Please pray for my family today. We lost our Uncle Chris as we were funeralizing John Mitchell, the chief of staff for Rainbow Push and for Reverend Jackson for so many decades. As we were funeralizing him, we were getting texts that our uncle had just passed. So it's just been a season, everybody. And I know we're not alone. And God bless us all. So let's talk. 866-594-HOPE, 866-594-4673. And we do hope that you will be at the Rainbow Push International Conference. We'll be having these conversations and more because it seems that there's going to be a lot happening at this Democratic convention. Daryl Jones of the Transformative Justice Coalition. Do we have John Nichols up? We're going to have him up
No,
shortly.
he didn't pick up.
And Terry O'Neill. It's going to expand this conversation. So when we get right back, you know what? Let me take, is it Deanne before we go to break? Deanne, what's your comment? Hey. Hey.
I really feel terrible about what Jill Biden did to that man. I think it was very unfair, and your mother would not have allowed that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the way she demeaned him, going up there and saying, "Oh, Jill, you did such a good job, and you answered your that is horrible." And they need to get her out of that picture if they possibly can. And I think that he and Trump will be fine together as finalists. I think it's late in the game.
Good morning, Attorney Hoffler.
I'm wondering
Okay.
how you
It's
think
okay,
that would
Cindy.
work. I mean, how democratic is that? Because who, number one, has the right to tell him to get out the race? They said the funders, the
lying.
donors. And I said, well, whoa, wait a minute. Who's running this thing? Right?
Keep up lying.
Yes. Make him a little boy. He will decide if he wants to go on. If he doesn't want to go on, but she's just demeaning it. And other countries see her pulling that little third grade stuff. It's very humiliating, even just for me to watch. So I hope that I hope they'll put a different viewpoint on that. But I don't think it's fair to the candidates that most of them have put in work so far for their seats, their nominations. I say ought to just do the best they can.
She makes a good point, Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the unspoken word now is by his ambition, more by her ambition.
Mm.
I think it is on Sheila Julius to be the first lady, and I think that she has this pristine image, but I think underneath she is driven in her ambition even more than him, that she admittedly in a way is leading him to the storm based on he believes. I think this is a significant analysis that I've heard many people make.
Well, some people they've touched upon it, but boy, oh boy, people are reluctant to
All right, good
touch
morning, John
upon it
Nichols.
because we don't want to assign those
John?
qualities to our first lady or to a woman
John,
to
can you
be
hear me?
ambitious. Well, she appears to be, because now she's taking the lead in speaking for him. Wow. And I'm not mad about anyone's ambitions, but I tell you, as having lived in public life, my parents have been in public life for 60 years. I know how protective my mother is of my father's rest. And we try mightily. He makes it very hard for us. But, we know that there are times when he's struggling with his speech, not with his cognition, though. That's what happens when people see him, Christina Tobin, of the Free and Equal Debates Foundation. People are surprised. He's one of the great communicators of the age. To see him struggle with his speech is painful. But people are relieved when they speak with him and they say, oh, wow, he's still sharp. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. He is. He's still here. What you saw with the president was maybe not that. And that was unsettling. So we need to talk about that. Where will we go from here? And just where is all this going to go, y'all? Really? 866-594-HOPE, 866-594-4673. If you want this conversation and more, please come to the Rainbow Push Convention. It's going to be something fantastic. The 13th through the 17th of August, and then some. Because people are going to be in town for the convention itself, for the Democratic Convention. And we want you to come to Rainbow Push so we can talk about it in between marching and everything. We need to come together, everybody. Back with more of Keep Hope Alive in just a few minutes. Oh, they were saying they couldn't hear the guests. They could only hear me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Because I was still
We're going to
talking.
correct that, Ashley. Thank you, babe. We've been doing a whole lot. Who do we have here?
John Nichols is up. Attorney Hoffler, Dwight,
Your
Attorney
time's immune
Jones,
system
and
is based in the
Christina.
gut.
Okay, is Dwight gone?
No, Dwight's still there.
Oh, okay. Well, Dwight
Yes.
and Christina and Attorney C.K. Hoffler. Oh, Christina, I'd wanted you to meet Attorney Hoffler. She's the past president of the National Bar Association, and she's a legal analyst on Court TV that I was telling you about. She's chair of Rainbow Push as well.
Good morning.
Pleasure to meet you. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? Since you just told me all about you.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
The debate that I'm
I hear
coming
that
out
Dwight
for,
McKee.
that
Oh,
she's
yes.
this is Christina, who I shared
Got
with
it.
you
Got
about.
it. I've connected the dots. So I have heard a lot about you as well.
Well, pleasure to finally hear your voice.
Well,
Absolutely.
she's trying to get by the debate if she can. She's going to be coming in on the 12th. But we've got John Nichols here from the
Hi,
Nation.
John.
Okay.
And I hear Dwight McKee.
How you doing, T?
I'm good. How are you? So great to hear your voice.
Thank you, dear.
And John Nichols, too.
Look,
John, are
let
you
me tell
there?
you, we've
John
had to
Nichols?
exile Dwight. Dwight wants me to sing Precious Lord to open up the debate. And
No, I think you should have Precious Lord do the last debate. That's where you need to help.
He wants to reverse. He wants to reverse
Oh my
the dialogue.
gosh, you know what?
Try to speak to John, because I couldn't hear him.
Speak to who? John Nichols? John? I can't hear him
Yeah,
either.
let me call him.
John?
No, I just hung up.
Oh, okay.
Let me
All
call
right.
him back.
Okay, but who do we have? We have CK, we have Dwight,
Attorney Jones,
Attorney Jones,
and Christina.
and well, Christina, and we need to exile Dwight because he's a
Hi,
hot
girl,
mess.
Jones. I was just saying hi, girl, Jones. I second that.
Hot mess.
Oh,
You don't know.
Lord.
I don't know
John
what you're gonna
Nichols.
say.
Good. Now I can hear you. Hold on, John.
Hello?
Yep, John. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Marcus. No.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay.
No.
Good. I'm about to lock you in. Hold on.
Marcus, you must be working for the government. That's not true.
Santita, I'm back.
Sending you so much love. How you doing?
I am very well, considering our amazing times that we live in.
I think it's great.
I do too. I'm actually quite satisfied with where we're at right now.
Oh, now you must explain that. No, no.
Well, I don't think this is not to pick on Biden or to praise him. It is to say that we're having an honest discussion.
Well, now there's that.
That's a healthy. No, it's a healthy thing.
No, you know what? I agree with you. I absolutely agree. Yeah. I absolutely. You know what? And you know what? While we lament this moment, I don't think that we should, because so much about politics is being exposed. You see the weight of donors and the oligarchs. You see how
and the media.
You see how the party locks candidates out. I mean, you see how this system is gamed, and it doesn't. The party doesn't matter. I mean, the system is gamed. That's why you only have two major parties. I mean, and they lock everybody off the stage. It's awful.
But look at the primary process.
Oh, come on.
You hear the New York Times, Chicago Tribune, the Atlanta Constitution. All these newspapers are now saying, "Well, Biden shouldn't stand down." Well, if they had any inclination of that, why didn't they say back a year ago, at the very least, the Democrats should have an open primary process?
Well, you
know, I mean, they really should entertain these issues.
Well, remember, Norman Solomon and Jeff Cohen pushed for that.
They worked hard on it.
You know, they worked hard on it. Stand by. We're coming up.
And credit to those who did stand up.
Absolutely.
Keep up alive.
Fred from Los Angeles. You know I got to chime in on this one.
All right, hold on, Fred.
Master, the tempest is raging.
Oh, yes. The great James Cleveland, peace be still. But the tempest is raging, and everyone wants to know what's going to happen with Joe Biden. Should he go? Should he stay? Will Joe go? Should he stay? People have been calling for him to vacate the race for quite some time. People were also calling for there to be an open primary. I mean, more space to be made for independent candidates. That didn't happen. So here we are. Will we have a brokered convention? Will President Biden bow to the oligarchs who are telling him to get out? And the New York Times and Thomas Friedman and Nick Kristof, two of the top opinion writers at the most esteemed corporate newspaper in the country. Let me be clear on that. So I want to know what your thoughts are. August 13th through the 17th, the Rainbow Push Convention, the People's Convention will lead into the Democratic Convention. You need to be in Chicago. You need to be at 930 East 50th Street. Even if you're coming here to march, make 930 East 50th Street your home. I'm going to be broadcasting from there too, and live streaming. We have a lot to talk about. So everybody, I want you to call us at 866-594-HOPE, 866-594-4673. I've got Attorney Darrell Jones from the Transformative Justice Coalition. We have got Dwight McKee from the Cornell West campaign. He's his senior advisor, and of course, he's the dean of the Ma'afa Redemption Project here in Chicago. And we've got Attorney C.K. Hoffler, legal analyst for Court TV, and chair of Rainbow Push, past national president of the oldest and largest Black Bar Association in the world, the National Bar Association. We're going to start off with John Nichols before he goes to church. We got a lot of callers who want to weigh in, but John, what are your thoughts? You said something very interesting during the break. You know, I want to get right to it. You said this is not a moment that we need to bemoan. We need to celebrate it.
Well, be careful about the word celebrate. What I would
say is this is a moment we need to embrace and respect. We have a measure of transparency about our politics, which we don't always have.
And there is suddenly a very sincere debate about whether Joe Biden should continue to be the candidate of the Democratic Party. That's not a terrible thing. I mean, that's not unhealthy. The fact of the matter is, if indeed Biden should stand down, then it's much better to have that debate before the convention than after it. And while I would suggest to you that I doubt anyone was conspiring to make the Rainbow Push Convention a much bigger deal than it might have been, the reality is that when we have the convention in mid-August, it could well be that the Democratic Party is in the midst of a great process of deciding whether to renominate Joe Biden or whether to choose someone else. And in a democracy, that's not a terrible thing. That's actually perhaps a very vibrant thing. Now, I want to tell you this first and foremost. I'm not sure that Joe Biden's done as a potential nominee. In fact, I think that's something we have to be very cautious about. We have to recognize he had a horrible debate night. It was awful. And, you know, it caused some of his most passionate supporters to literally be just sick at heart. So it was something that you cannot deny. By the same token, he has time in this period, and clearly he's tried in the last few days, to make the case that it was just a bad night, that he actually is the best candidate to go forward. That is not just his right, but frankly his duty. He is the incumbent and seeking a second term. Of course, it's appropriate for him to do that. But it is also appropriate for people who do not think he is the best prospect and who care very deeply for the country to suggest that there ought to be alternatives, that there ought to be a discussion about this. So we ought to open up the process. And at the end of the day, the thing to understand is this: Joe Biden will decide whether he is the Democratic nominee or not. That isn't because he's some sort of king. It is because he has the committed delegates to do it, right? If indeed Biden wants to be the nominee, he has the delegate support to achieve it. And it's very few possibilities that the DNC or any other, the convention itself could deny him that. So the reality is that if he wants to be the nominee, so be it. That will be what happens. On the other hand, if he, in consultation with his family and with people who care about him very deeply, people who support him very strongly, who care about the country very deeply, if he decides to stand down, then suddenly he opens up a process that could be, and believe me, I know the Democrats aren't very good at this, but could be very energizing, right? A process where Kamala Harris and other people step up and say, I want to be the nominee, and say to that, an open convention, nominate me. Here's why. Here's why I would be the strongest candidate. That is how, in most of the world, candidates are chosen. They have, it happens relatively quickly. You look at in Britain or in France or in Germany, most places around the world, if there is a leader who stands down as leader of a party, they, in a matter of a few weeks, choose a new leader. And it's activists and people who are engaged. So instead of looking at this as some sort of crisis, the way we should look at it is twofold. Number one, an opportunity for Joe Biden to strongly make the case that he ought to be the candidate. That is his right, his responsibility. But also an opportunity for people who don't think that's a good idea to step up and say, hey, let's not go down this road. Let's open this process up. And that's something that I think a lot of our media, a lot of our political insiders have a very hard time with. They don't like open processes. They don't like having more people in the debate, as the free and equal folks suggest. They don't like having, an open process early on, which, by the way, we should have had, right? The Democratic primaries should have been an engaged and open and exciting process. But all these people now who are saying Biden should stand down, where were they a year ago when these discussions were just as lively? Why weren't they saying it then? The fact of the matter is that a tremendous amount of our political class and our media class conspires to have a closed process where a handful of people who are not accountable basically make most of the decisions. In this case, while we're certainly not talking about a process that I would choose in the way that I would set it up, we have some potential here for an opened up process. And again, that you can like or dislike, whatever, but the bottom line is, instead of bemoaning it, I think it is something that we should recognize and even embrace as a possible moment. And just imagine, if I could say one last thing on this, just imagine how exciting it would be if, indeed, and this is not to say, I'm not pushing Biden, Biden makes his own choice, but how exciting it could be if there was an effort by a number of candidates to get the nomination. I think if it did happen, I think it's very good likelihood that Kamala Harris would be the nominee. But if you had that open process, right, if you had that debate, candidates were out actually debating themselves, among themselves, doing some kind of campaigning, trying to rally and excite not just the delegates to the convention, but people across the country, that would do more to diminish Donald Trump than anything else. Because suddenly we'd be talking about this process, right? We'd be talking about, a possibility of some new candidate, something else. And so I think that there's a lot of people who are so scared by our politics, or so overwhelmed by our politics, that they don't see the possibilities.
Well, I think that they have felt so excluded because, people like Norman Solomon and Jeff Cohen and David Sirota did call for Biden to vacate the primary, but they and for him to leave, and they were shut down. Now, wait, because it was blasphemous to say that. So I think we have to be honest about how, because we saw this with what happened with Reverend. I mean, it's not like we haven't been to this rodeo before. Come on. We went through this, and Bernie Sanders. I mean, it's the same thing. But let me go to you, CK, because I've got a lot of callers, but I want to hear from you. I mean, really, because thankfully, we will be in Las Vegas where we will have this free and equal debate. Of course, Christina Tobin is here July 12th. I'm so excited that I'll be there, and so honored that you want Reverend Jackson's input, Christina. That's so generous of you, because you're looking to have people represented. That's what she's looking for, open debate. But CK, your thoughts?
Well, I agree in large part with the incomparable John Nichols' analysis, but I do think that we are in a crisis. The only thing that I will say is, yes, this is an opportunity for there to be open debate. We encourage open debate, but we, without a doubt, are in a crisis. And I think, if something quacks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's a duck. And from my standpoint, crisis with a big C. And the reason why I say that is because there's now been a very serious question. Before, there are people just saying, well, President Biden isn't moving as quickly, he's not this and that. But he came out on every major occasion and performed like he did at the State of the Union address. And that was not too long ago. What we observed, and it was, I couldn't even watch the debate. It was painful to me. Literally, physically painful for me to watch President Biden speak. It was disgusting for me and painful to watch former President Donald Trump speak for different reasons. But the entire debate was very difficult to watch and to watch each of those candidates, as I said, for different reasons. We are in a crisis for this reason. While it is going to be healthy and we're forced into having a very robust discussion, and it is ultimately President Biden's choice of whether there should be someone, if he should step down and someone should step up. And all of these discussions, it's just that these discussions are happening so late in the game. Better they happen now than after the convention. I agree with that. But it's late in the game. And we have not groomed anyone, and I'm a Democrat, we have not groomed anyone realistically to step in at this point. Of course, the best candidate is usually the vice president, but have we groomed, usually during a second term, we groom that vice president to actually become president, just as Joe Biden was. You're groomed, and the process didn't happen. So this is a crisis, but every crisis has a cure. Every crisis has a solution. And I think that there are solutions, but we are in a crisis. I feel that we need to acknowledge that, because then we go into crisis mode, which means that we don't have the time to play. We don't have the time to have too many intellectual, vibrant discussions about this, that, and that, because at stake is our country right now. And at stake, of course, is going to be what happens in the future. Former President Donald Trump's performance was predictable and despicable. And so if I'm watching this, even if I am someone cheering, it didn't affect his base, quite frankly, because his base, he's been that way with his base from the beginning. The thing that we saw potentially affected was Joe Biden's base. That's why we're in a crisis. Not the base of the Democratic Party, but Joe Biden's base as a viable candidate, because people with distress watched that he was really not on his game in a way where we felt that there's a medical reality. We can't control a medical reality. We can control, we had a bad debate day, and maybe that's what it was. We had a bad day. But it appeared that there was a medical reality that was manifesting, or that has manifested. And maybe I'm wrong. I am not a medical doctor. I have no medical training. I do see doctors for a living, but I have no medical training. So I can't say if it is or isn't. But there are greater medical minds that have opined on this issue. And I am concerned about that, because when there's a greater medical issue, we can't control that. Even though we may have the best of efforts and the best of intentions and much love and much political consideration, if there's a real medical issue at play that precludes him from being able to communicate effectively as the most powerful person in the world, then that is a game changer, and we are in the midst of a crisis.
As it relates to Donald Trump, my prayer is, the fact that he's taking advantage of this epidemic is
The way he is. So I think we own up to that. We knew that was going to happen. And he's doing what he does best. And he has a right to do what he does best. And we have the system. But my concern is not on him. He's going to do what he's going to do. Not concerned about him. Every lie that he tells is a lie that he's been telling. So there's nothing new there. But I do have concerns for our president, our commander-in-chief, and our leader of this country.
You know,
I do have concerns about how we navigate the next stages. But there is going to be a solution.
but you know what? If there, and you know what, I'll say this as we go to break. If there is a medical issue, then cop to it. That's been my issue with this all, because it looks like it. I mean, because I live with someone who's got a brain issue. Okay. The thing is, with Reverend, he does not have a cognitive problem. He has a problem. It's a neuromuscular problem, and it is a brain issue. But you have to show people that you can. I don't believe you throw the baby out with the bathwater. I've got 30 seconds for you, John Nichols. I mean, if you are struggling with your health, great. Do I think you should be thrown out? No. But you can't say that it's not there if I don't see what I see. 20 seconds.
Talking about whether Joe Biden is the best candidate. That's what matters. And if we shut that conversation down and make it filtered and get scared away from it,
10 seconds.
we don't do a disservice to the process. So carry this conversation forward. I wish I could join you for the next half hour, but this is so. Your opinion counts. 1-866-55.
No, you guys are going to do great with it. All you people are going to do great with it. I have to go and pray for solutions, which I like to hope will help as well.
Well, I think
Take it, John.
I think that we can.
Thank you. Take it,
Take
John.
care, Dwight. I'll see you in Chicago at that convention.
Oh, right. At both conventions.
Oh yeah.
The Rainbow and the Democratic
Oh
Party.
yeah, because the convention will be in the streets. Be very clear, not just in the
It's
streets.
all over.
Oh, absolutely.
Love
Absolutely.
and solidarity to all of you.
Oh, much love and solidarity to you, and our love to your family.
David Gibbs.
Thank you. And see, I think we're talking about two things.
Okay.
I think we're talking about what John just said about, is Joe Biden the best candidate to beat Donald Trump?
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing we have to talk about. But the other thing we need to talk about is why has been the only option to go after Donald Trump.
Well, now there's that.
And see, that's where that depraved process comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
That the Democrats has knocked out all the Democratic options.
Yeah.
I didn't hear him.
To have a real viable candidate on the front side.
Please leave your message.
And so we've never had an opportunity to have this adequate debate because we have this closed party that is manipulating us rather than allowing us to be involved in making viable choices.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't deal with that, then this is going to go on not just for this campaign, this election, but for the next election and the next election.
Well, it's been going on and on and on, Dwight. I mean, we saw this with Reverend. You know that. We've seen this with Bernie. You know that. We saw this with John, the senator from South Carolina who was running on poverty. I mean, they have a way of knocking out people who could really stir up populist support. And I think it's something we've got to look at because the oligarchs are doing this. They're the ones who are controlling the process.
They knocked out Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Absolutely.
They knocked him out.
That's, I mean,
There's a prime example.
They made him third party.
That's arguably the reason they had the debate to exclude Kennedy and break away from the Commission on Presidential Debate. So Bernie Sanders, Kennedy,
Cornel West,
independent movement.
I mean, you're not leaving any space for anybody. Stand by. I'm going to come to you, Christina, and then I'm going to pivot to all these callers. Hey, everybody. Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson. Boy, oh boy, you all have a lot that you want to say today about these debates. But Christina Tobin, Free and Equal Debates Foundation. Of course, we will be together July 12th in Las Vegas at the presidential debate. We're going to see if Robert Kennedy is going to be there. We're going to see if Cornel West is going to be there. I mean, look, I think everybody should be there because it's a whole new race, I think, Christina.
Yes, I mean, I want to say, if you want to watch the live stream, it'll be on Rumble, C-SPAN, Scripps News. You can go to Free and Equal, freeandequal.org, and you can sign up for a reminder for the live stream. And so, yes, we have the Green Party, Dr. Jill Stein, and Chase Oliver, Libertarian, and Randall Terry of the Constitution Party. They're all in the ballot, enough states to be viably electable, which is our criteria, or receive 2% in a national poll. So we have invited Dr. Cornel West, independent, as well as Robert F. Kennedy, independent, Trump, and Biden. More voices, more choices. We invite all the candidates. We have currently still Thomas Massey as our moderator. We'll see how that rolls out next week, given what has tragically happened in his personal life, losing his high school sweetheart's wife. Condolences to him and his family. Absolutely. And we do have a world-renowned third moderator that is figuring out travel and accommodation. We hope to announce him come this Tuesday.
Yay.
We also have a couple others on the table. Vivek Ramaswamy is interested in speaking at Freedom Fest. Who knows? He could be a moderator. And then in the world of the other person is like Russell Brand, very transparent. And so I really hope to have Massey there. Understandable if he can't. This debate will proceed, and it would be a huge loss to Dr. Cornel West and Kennedy to not be at this platform that is so highly produced, the level of production. And we're going to roll into our fourth debate this September in a 360 immersive venue. And take it up to an even greater level. But there will be thousands of attendees, 3,000, I believe, at Freedom Fest, 2,000 seats in front. And we're going to have questions asked by independent media. I've asked Antita for your father, Reverend Jesse Jackson, what ideas, what questions are of importance to him. This is truly the people's debate for the people and real change. Mr. Ed Astor, a friend of mine, we lost him a couple years ago, as well as Larry King. He told me, in coming to my town here in Cambria, he co-moderated candidates forum, so I'm very involved in my local elections. It's a real change begins from the ground up. So Santita, you have really built the ground up of leaders and activists and just different viewpoints. I may not agree with all of them. We may not all agree with one another, but oh man, the common denominators, we respect one another on this call. So this is my being on this morning interview with you, 3 weeks, 4 weeks in a row now rejuvenates me for the week to know that there's so much hope, so much change, and so many great leaders that I've heard on this phone call today that are going to unite because we don't give up. And integrity, love, justice. When we all have justice, when we all see justice, we'll all see peace.
Amen to that. But that's why Reverend Jackson wanted you here to support your efforts, because he has believed in an open process, because we had to fight to open up the process to be in it. Let me go to Muhammad Martinez. What a wonderful name, Muhammad Martinez. Love it, love it, love it. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm very honored to be in your program. As a matter of fact, I have known about your father since long before the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I met him, not personally, but I was there when he came to downtown LA to speak when the leaf blowers were on strike. And I am a former columnist for the Black-owned LA West Times in the 1990s. So I'm an old activist. I'm a senior citizen. But I would like to send a simple message to America of color, specifically Black and brown. We should stop pretending to suffer from the ostrich syndrome, not to know that what is happening today is very simple. It's white supremacy versus people of color in America. And that's why all this voter suppression, all this divide and conquer between communities of color, specifically Black and brown. I live in East LA, but I've been involved in South Central, Compton. And we should start uniting more so than ever, because when they come after you, then they will come after us, or vice versa. And the thing is that I am a long-time listener of your program for a long time, and I'm very honored. And I please, people of color in America, wake up and let's unite and fight together and defeat fascism versus democracy. That's what we have at the moment right now. You know, and I saw the entire debate, and Trump was lying through his teeth, 100%. I know that Biden had difficulty, but people forget that he was born with a stutter also. That's why he stuttered, because he was born and he overcame that. So we have to understand that. Jackson, gracias, and I hope that we continue.
Oh.
Power to the people.
And I want you to stay, because I want you to give your information to my technical producer. We need to be in touch. We got a lot of calls from LA. But Fred, thank you so much for being with us today. What's your comment?
Hello, there?
Yes.
You guys got what you voted for. I'm talking about Black America and liberal America. We all saw it on stage, and it didn't take but 3 minutes or less than that. Number 2, Jill Biden is a fool. Number 3, Vladimir Putin, the Ayatollah of a go crazy in the country of Mexico, are laughing their rear ends off. Number 4. Now, how long has this actually been hidden from the public? And what else has been hidden from the public? And number 5, and the Democrats and Joe Biden were fools to let him debate. But anyway, now that they did, It was the best thing for America. We saw what we got. We saw what we had. And the last thing, Chris talking about the next debate and the politics he displayed, it sounded like everything was foolish. Donald Trump would be if I was Donald Trump, I wouldn't debate Biden again, and he'd be a fool to go on stage again. I'm finished. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Fred. Let me go to Bobby from LA. We got a lot of LA calls today. How you doing, Bobby? I'm doing great. What's on your mind?
Enjoyed about the debate. They talked about veterans, and it seems like we've been forgotten human beings in all these campaigns. But I'm not going to give up on President Biden. I think he can still pull it out. He did have a tough time Thursday night, but I can still think he can pull out this election.
Okay.
You know,
Oh, my brother, you're so sweet. I hope I know it's quite a distance, but I hope you'll consider coming to our convention. We're certainly going to live stream it. But there's going to be a lot going on in Chicago in August, Bobby. Oh, bless your heart. Well, I'll be back up in the morning. Okay, sweetie? Okay. All right. You too, precious. Thank you so much. Let me go to, yes.
And I hope in my comments no one interpreted that I was saying we should give up on Biden.
Oh.
Quite to the contrary. Quite to the contrary. We need to recognize where we are. And I think he may pull it out. But we don't want to give up on anyone. We don't kick someone when they're down. We just are in a crisis, and it's important for us to recognize that so we can find the appropriate solutions. And I'm optimistic that we will be able to. And one of those solutions could be that President Biden continues, but we have to face the reality of what we saw and what we know. And if there is a medical issue, we have to face it. We cannot simply just say, oh, it was a bad. I don't know if there's a medical issue. I don't know. So I just wanted to.
But Biden has to deal with his policy issues. That's what's dividing most of the country. He has to make adjustments on his position with Israel. He has to make adjustments in his position on the Ukraine. He has to make these policy adjustments. These kids are in the street. They're not going to be in the street about the debate. They're going to be in the street about what's happening in Gaza. These Republicans that's in revolt and these progressive Democrats that in revolt, they're not revolting about the debate. They're revolting about what's going on in the Ukraine and the immigration issue. And so unless he makes these policy adjustments, it don't matter if he has a big debate the next time around. He's still going to be behind the 8 ball.
Let me go to Mel.
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, oh yeah, I'm here. Mel, what's on your mind, sweetie?
All right, Bahama, what's your information?
I'm sorry?
When I was younger,
So what's your information? You want me to get
you
your
know,
information?
the old ones, or the
Yes,
weird ones.
I am
And we seem to have lost track of that. This is even when he was under the weather. Okay? And I think that's kind of well discussed now that Biden under the weather, even under the weather, I would rather go with the white than go with the white stuff. Or the, because for sake of discussion, it's an issue of who's the wiser one, not who's the one who has a better handicap. That's all. Right? And oh, by the way, just with wisdom, wisdom comes with age. I don't have wrinkles, I have wisecracks.
I love that. Come on. I love that. But I'm going to tell you, the age to me is not the issue. I think that people are wondering if there is a medical issue. I mean, I think that the corporate media have been dishonest by putting age out there. They've been, look, the thing is, that's why Richard Branson has a group called the Elders. It's when you have lived. And as my mother said, when you've made mistakes and you've lived long enough to correct them, if you've had the wisdom to correct them and the wisdom to know how to correct them in the right way, that's when you need a statesperson. Because I think, 35, 200 years ago put you in middle age. Folks didn't live that long. So, I think we've got to really think about that. I want to get some closing comments from everybody here, but let me start with you, Daryl. Daryl, what are we to make of what it is that we see or that we have seen? Do you think that we are
All right, let me get
barking
the
up the wrong
last
trees? Are we
word
looking at the
after
wrong
Chicano.
issues, or
It's
should we be looking at these issues and then some?
INTIFAZA.
Yes, as ACTEC Aztec Chicano, CHICANO Chicano, Intifada, INTIFADA @gmail.com.
All right, I got it. Somebody from Rainbow Push will contact you, okay?
Okay, and I'm very honored and I'm very humbly honored to have been in
I
your
think that
program.
would be another no for voters.
And I will continue to listen.
Thanks, Mohammed. Thanks, Mohammed.
But I think that all that we're experiencing right now
Gracias.
is going to strengthen democracy in the end. It's going to raise the conversation. And the only other point I wanted to address, if I may consider, was his wife was raising up, was picking up the domestic issues, the international, the foreign issues, that policies that Biden had put in place that also must be addressed. Interestingly, right now, all of that appears to be overshadowed with the medical question and whether or not he's competent to be able to do the job. That may actually end up playing into his favor if he can continue performance like he did in North Carolina, where he's trying to show folks that he does have the ability to do it. And there is another debate where he performs just well, not great, but just well.
C.K. Hoffler.
Well, I think I agree with what Daryl Jones just said. This is a great opportunity, but I think we have to recognize the crisis, determine if there's a medical issue, and find a solution. I'm optimistic that we will, but you only find solutions when you recognize what the issues are. As it relates to what Dwight McKee said in terms of policy, get back on track with that. But there was not a single policy issue that Donald Trump addressed. A single question that he answered, maybe the first one, what is your name? But other than that, he did not address any policy issues, because I bet dollars to donuts when you get his perspective of all of those issues on Gaza, on Ukraine, and all that, his response will be more troubling than any of Biden's policies today. But putting that aside, I think recognition of the medical issue, recognition that we're in a crisis, and finding the solutions. And I am optimistic that we will. And if the solution, and if Biden can demonstrate that he's up for the task, and we know there's no medical issue or not one that we can't deal with, then we go for it and we stand behind our candidate and we go for it. Because it is going to be something, as that same debate illustrated, if former President Trump gets back in office. I think we have to keep our eye on the prize and not forget that, because what the debate also illustrated is how deficient his leadership would be. And deficient is a nice word, because the real word is not sanctioned for the media.
Thank you, because I'd like to stay on the air. Dwight McKee, your closing thought. Christine, I'm going to get you on the other side so we can chew up everyone for this debate on July 12th. But Dwight, before we go to break, I have a couple of minutes for you.
It would be a strategic mistake for us to bet the whole House on Biden. I think that we should send some ambassadors to begin to try to negotiate a deal with Trump. So if he does win, at least we're not left out in the cold as we historically are. And if anybody see Daryl Jones on the Tallahassee Bridge, please call me. I would hate for him to end up like Billy Joe McCaskey.
He's not going to jump off a bridge. Oh, man. August 13th through the 17th, we've got the Rainbow Push International Conference. You want to be there. You need to be there. Greg Palast will be there. So many people. Attorney C.K. Hoffler will be there. Dwight will be there. Dwight McKee. Attorney Daryl Jones will be there. Christina, you will be invited to be there. But, of course, there is so much that is going on in Chicago in August, but we've got to pay attention to the Republican convention as well. What's going to happen in Milwaukee? Because they're struggling in Milwaukee. I think they're going to make their voices heard, but there's something about Chicago. Ooh, my goodness. What's going to happen with the convention? What's going to happen with the convention? Or are we? Is this something? Are we really? Are we really jumping the gun here? What do you think? Just continue the conversation on Keep Hope Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson on the Santita Jackson Show YouTube channel and on the Facebook, on the Santita Jackson and Friends Facebook page and on Reverend Jesse Jackson's page. And of course, join me on AM 950 Radio in Minneapolis, St. Paul tomorrow because we will be talking about this. In the meantime, stay right here. Going to get some closing thoughts from Christina Tobin. July 12th, we will be in Las Vegas at the Free and Equal debate. All of the major candidates who are on enough ballots across the country will be there. Well, we're certainly trying to get Robert Kennedy. We're certainly trying to get, not we, because I'm not part of the debate. I'm going to be singing the national anthem there. But I do support their efforts. They're trying to get Cornel West there. Dwight, I hope you can help us to do that because the people need to be heard by the people because the people need to be heard. They represent perspectives that are who we are. 27% of Americans are Democrats. 27% are Republicans. 44% are self-identified as independents. They have been excluded from the stage. That is like that's almost half the country, everybody. Think about it. Back with closing thoughts here on Keep Up Alive with Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Coming up, we'll have closing thoughts from Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Oh my goodness. Well, you guys, Christina, you're gonna have the floor, but I've wanted you to meet these people because I wanted them to meet you. CK is someone you absolutely need to know. Dwight McKee is someone you need to know. Daryl Jones, of course, you will see him. He'll be my +1. I think I have another +1 too. Don't get jealous, Daryl. I'm trying to tell you who else. But certainly you're going to meet Daryl. But these are people who see, touch, and feel everybody. So I'm really glad that they're going to be that you've been able to encounter one another. So keep talking, everybody. We have like 3 minutes before we come back up.
Yeah, Santita, let me know. I'll ask Freedom Fest. They can give me a code to give you 5 or 10 free tickets for like $50 for just a day pass or so.
Thank you.
I think we'll do it so we can really bring people in, your friends and from the NAACP, and so let me know. And
I appreciate that. I think I know. What time does the debate begin?
It's 5 to 7 p.m.
Okay, I don't know if you'll make that, CK, but certainly we can get a ticket for you because you're coming in.
Okay, no, absolutely, and I'm happy to get a ticket. I'm supposed to be in, I think, on the evening of the 12th. I'm supposed to get in, but I mean, I could certainly try to change I could change my plans because I don't have anything really pressing on the 11th that I can't rearrange.
Well, you know me. I just believe everybody we should be meeting one another, and I think it's a tremendous opportunity for us all to get together. I just think it's a tremendous opportunity. Dwight, I wish you could be there, but certainly you'll be there in spirit, trying to keep people off the bridges. But please, when you can, reach out to Dr. West.
Cornell.
Yeah,
I will.
Because I think this is a tremendous opportunity and audience. And Christina, I shouldn't speak for you, but you did say that, you would be willing to work with Dr. West.
Yes.
Please.
Larry Sharp and others Wes has made it clear he doesn't want to be at any events with Dr. Hillstein. We've got to break through that. They have differences, but I will make sure he is, that there's no issues there, and he's heard by tens of millions of people. So I know that's the internal reason, and we've got to break through that. Jill has only said very positive, kind things about Dr. West, and But yeah, there's been events put on. Larry Sharp put on Libertarian Party California Convention, a couple others he's put on with Cornell, and he's requested not to be at an event the same day as Dr. Stein, over and over.
Well, that's okay. What
Yeah.
One of the
We'll
things
have
that
separate podiums far away, and they'll keep them from engaging one another. Like, I want to hear his ideas. I'm there to support him and break through those differences, and we're here to hear his ideas, his platform. So,
well, you know what I've learned from Reverend,
we'll do it.
to take these opportunities, Daryl and Dwight, because you've been with Reverend longer than just about anybody, and Attorney C.K. Hoffler. There's nothing like getting before these different audiences. I remember after the Reverend's first campaign, Willie Nelson and Jim Hightower approached my father about going to Farm Aid, which was like, huh, what? And
stand by 20 seconds.
As he walked out, he was booed. As he finished, they were chanting, "Run, Jesse, run." So, I mean,
stand by 10 seconds.
Just get on out there and do your thing. Stand by. Christina, you're going to have 90 seconds, okay?
5, 4,
Wonderful.
3,
Stand by, coming up.
2, 1, you're live.
Hey, everybody. August 13th through the 17th, the Rainbow Push International Conference leading into the Democratic Convention. You don't want to be there, but don't miss the Republican Convention. That's a big deal, too. And we have a lot to meet about. And those people who are coming to Chicago, we want you to make Rainbow Push your home at 930 East 50th Street. But July 12th, I will be at Freedom Fest. But really, the Free and Equal Debate. It's going to be the people's debate. Christina Tobin has gotten me to go out there and talk to us about July 12th. 90 seconds for you. Actually, 1 minute. There you go.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Santita. You'll be opening up the presidential debate with the national anthem. It'll be July 12th at Freedom Fest. You can get a ticket at freedomfest.com or sign up for the live stream of Free and Equal Elections. All elections shall be free and equal. My nonprofit is hosting this debate. You can sign up for the live stream at freeandequal.org. It's July 12th from 5 to 7 p.m. Free and Equal Elections has been hosting debates since 2008. It'll be broadcast live on Rumble if you want to check it there. C-SPAN, Scripps News, and many more are coming to the surface. We have 3 confirmed candidates: Dr. Jill Stein, Green Party, Jake Oliver, Libertarian, and Randall Terry, the Constitution Party. We are hopeful that Dr. Cornell West will attend, as well as Kennedy, and Trump and Biden are invited as well. So come and check out a debate that's not about attacking each other's character. It's about attacking the ideas and really having those ideas. What's the best idea?
26. Now.
Stand by. Hold on.
I'm Jesse Jackson. For more information on upcoming shows and guests, please visit our website at www.keephopealiveradio.com.
Hey, I want you to be able to say something to the Facebook audience, each of you, before we go.
Sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, here. You would like me to?
Yeah, I want all of you to. Absolutely.
I'm excited. I mean, it's so many leaders, your father and Martin Luther King. I've been inspired so much. I have so much more to learn from civil rights leaders. Mother Amelia Boynton Robinson of Selma, having met her in her final months of here on Earth, and Ramsey Clark, a former Attorney General, met with him, who drafted the Voting Rights Act of 1965 and the right to vote. And the system has intentionally made us not want to vote. Why? Because we can't check to see that our votes counted. Well, we can fix that with technology and or ideas. Maybe there's not any candidates you're inspired by. Well, here at Free and Equal Elections, we're going to ignite a truly independent movement to inspire people to run for office and have community leaders. They don't know it yet, but they're going to be asked by their community to run for office, targeting congressional races in 2026. So yeah, our debate is much bigger than a debate. This is a series, our third debate, taking place July 12th at Freedom Fest, high-level production, and a lot of broadcasters, like I mentioned, Rumble, C-SPAN, Scripps News, and more, rising to the occasion to broadcast it. And thousands of people are expected to be in attendance. There's 3,000 that attend Freedom Fest at least every year, 250 speakers. So it's a big event. be rolling into our fourth presidential debate this September, maybe earlier, but definitely September. But first things first, sign up for the live stream, freeandequal.org. Sign up for the live stream for the debate July 12th. And also, I didn't mention after the debate, the people are going to be able to vote on our blockchain voting app, the candidate that they align with the most via race choice voting. So we really have a decentralized platform evolving here beyond the traditional social media and media, and a truly pure vision for our country. Again, leaders like your father and many others, and Bernie Sanders and Dr. Ron Paul and Ralph Nader and Anderson and Ross Perot, and even Robert F. Kennedy and Cornell, and many more don't know it yet. They're paving the way for something much bigger than any one individual or person. So, Santita, I'm excited to meet you, and a lot of the people on the call here and your listeners, hopefully on the ground. And thank you so much for your support and then building this truly deeply rooted movement.
Well, I mean, absolutely, and that's why we have you here today. I mean, CK, I don't know if you're still there. Dwight, Daryl, would you like to say anything? Well, CK,
I'm still here. I just wanted to say that as your dad has taught us, Santita, we have to keep hope alive. We have to pivot. When we're in crisis, we look at our options and we do the best that we can. And I do believe that whether it will remain President Biden as our candidate, because I'm not counting him out, or someone else, I think I'm very, very, very optimistic that there will be a solution, a good solution, a strong solution that we can stand behind. But the only way to get there is recognition of crisis, determining what is and what isn't, and examining all of the issues, having an openness of mind to look at the issues, confronting them, and coming up with a solution. That's the only way we can get there.
well, Daryl.
Daryl's gone.
Oh, Dwight, your thoughts?
Yeah, I want to commend you all for the convention and your all's commitment to maintain democratic ideas and keep the best of who the country should be alive. It puts pressure on these other closed systems to have to open themselves up and examine their veracity and their validity. And so, good luck with it. I will call Cornell and find out where his head is on this. And good luck on the whole process.
Well, I'm so glad. I knew that when you all connected, you would be impressed, Dwight, because it really is about Cornel West and Robert Kennedy being heard by so many people. And I think that in the aftermath of what happened on Thursday, I think more people are more open because there's more transparency in the process. I mean, that's one of the things that I find, quite frankly, most heartening about this moment, CK and Dwight and Christina. We're talking about the process, and we're really testing the system, and we see that the system has to be not just fixed, it has to be remade. And I think that more and more people are willing to do that. That's a great thing.
David Gibbs?
So,
yes,
David.
The old system is obsolete. We're here to build the new paradigm. And as the lady had mentioned, that the root of the problem is the people in office. That's how we're going to fix it. Hope is very much alive. Hope is about to be elevated like we have never seen before, because history's on our side, and now we have a game changer technology that will be used in a positive way to bring about transparency through a blockchain ledger, a decentralized hub. And it unfortunately is Democrats and Republicans alike. It's a business. Independents and third parties have been left out in the cold. And it's the money beyond AIPAC and the military industrial complex and pharmaceutical industries and so many more, BlackRock and Vanguard, that are controlling Democrats and Republicans alike, that are causing these divisive issues and this chaos. Why? Because it fills their pocketbooks. That's why they're so wealthy. And these are not the kind of people we're going to have in office in the future. We're going to have people that see it as a duty to serve for our elections and for our people. And when we get accountable people elected to the office, we're going to see the power shift from the federal, statewide, to even local level. That's what I foresee in the coming years and decades to come. And I look forward to working with you, Santita, and Dwight, and so many more to achieve that hope that is on the horizon.
Well, I'm excited. I really, really am. This is going to be great. It is going to be great, 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 great. So I think that is. Hold on, Jeremy. Say something to everybody. Oh.
Morning.
He's working. I love you, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow on AM 950 Radio. God bless you. Mwah. All right.